Second thing I want you to say to you is you got to feel your audience. After you know your audience, the next thing you got to do is you have to feel your audience. The question you should be asking yourself is, where are they? The first question you asked was, who are they? Who am I talking to? The next question is, where are they? When you walk into a room similar to this, you need to be getting on those people's wavelength. And your job as a speaker or as a presenter is to get on the wavelength of the people that you're speaking to. Your job is to find out where they are. Let me show you what I mean. For example, in this room right now, they tell me that all kinds of radio waves are flowing through this room. You can't see them. They're invisible, but they're flowing through this room and they're flowing through our bodies right now. If I had an FM receiver in my hand, I could tune it in and I could pick up all kinds of sports, information, and music that is flowing through this room right now. You know why you can't feel it right now or hear it right now? You don't have a receiver. It's the same thing when you walk into a room full of people. You have to feel that room. You have to feel that room. You have to feel, where are they? Don't assume that just because this is a room full of women, that all the women in this room are in the same place. And you got to be able to feel what's going on in this room. You got to be able to feel, and it's beyond black and white. It's beyond economic status. You got to be able to feel where they are. For example, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. We tend to be a little bit more reserved, a little bit more relaxed, a little less intense. At 9 o'clock in the morning is very, very early. By about noon, we'll start waking up, we'll start rubbing our eyes, the blood is flowing and we're breathing correctly and all of a sudden we're in tune and we're in touch with what's going on. So that means that you got to have a rhythm with your audience. When I talk about feeling your audience, I mean it's almost like a dance. You have to kind of ebb and flow with them, kind of feel them, let them feel you. You got to be able to feel your way through this audience. It's similar to like a tango. And if you have a partner and you're dancing with them, you can't be doing a tango while they're doing the bump. Doesn't that look funny? That means that you have to establish some kind of rhythm with them. You can't go too fast. You can't go too slow. You have to feel where they are. You may have to bring them up to speed. There is something about when you stand in that arena, you need to be able to pull everybody in that room into you. That means that you're not only speaking to the person on the front row, you're speaking to the person in the back of the room, until the whole room feels like they're drawn into you. You got to be able to feel this room. Your job is to get on the same wavelength. And let me say this to you. One of the things that will help you is developing instinct and timing. Instinct and timing. It's the skill that allows one comedian to be funnier than another comedian. You ever seen it? Two comedians can be telling the same joke, same lines about the same thing. One comedian will have you bowled over in the floor with your side splitting. One comedian will tell the same joke and it will fall like a rock. What's the difference? Instinct and timing. It's effectively knowing when to make that pause before you make your next statement. All while I'm talking to you, I'm demonstrating for you what I'm talking to you about. So I hope you're paying attention. It's what makes one preacher, for example, more effective than another preacher. Even if they're using the same text and the same points, it's the thing that makes you connect with them and not with the other speaker. It's the ability to have instinct and timing. There's a time to speak and there's a time not to speak. There's a time to say certain things and a time not to say certain things. It's what helps you to avoid what I call dry humor. You ever had somebody give dry humor? That dry humor is that joke that is totally inappropriate for the persons that you're talking to. And whether it's in a small, and it's uncomfortable. If you've ever been the person telling the joke, it's uncomfortable. But if you've ever been the person hearing the joke, it was uncomfortable. Walk into a group full of people and they're trying to be funny and they're trying to be social and they're trying to fit into the situation, and they say something that is totally inappropriate for the situation, and the whole room looks at them like, back to know your audience. And you got to feel your own. In fact, when you walk into a room like this, it's not just a matter of I'm going to come in and I'm going to focus on where I'm going. I'm not going to look at anybody or say anything. You need to be able to feel this whole room, feel where we are, because this is going to lead you to my next